It was the dry season of 1992 in the remote outskirts of Sumner County, USA. A massive infrastructure project was underway, a privately funded highway meant to cut through the dense, unforgiving edge of the Amazon basin. At the center of it stood Eduardo Carvalho, 48 years old American Brazilian, sharp, efficient, a man who believed in data more than instinct and machines more than men. His company, Carvalho Infratech, had secured a contract worth over $50 million. For Eduardo, this wasn't just another project. It was validation, a statement, proof that modern engineering could conquer anything: terrain, weather, even the stubborn resistance of nature itself. And for weeks, everything went exactly according to plan. Until the morning the ground opened. The machine was a Komatsu PC, 8,000 hydraulic excavator, 75 tons of steel, precision-guided hydraulics, satellite-assisted surveying. It was designed for mines, for extremes, for dominance, but the ground beneath it had other ideas. At 9:17 a.m., without warning, the soil gave way, not dramatically, not violently, but completely. The excavator sank, not tipped, not slid, sank, straight down, as though the earth had inhaled. Within minutes, half the machine was gone. Within an hour, only the upper cab remained visible, like the last breath of a drowning giant. And then it stopped moving, but not before sealing its fate. Eduardo did what modern men always do. He escalated. First came the bulldozers, 2 Caterpillar D10S, each capable of pushing mountains. They failed. Their tracks spun uselessly, chewing at the soft crust like animals trapped in quicksand. Then came the winches, industrial grade, anchored to reinforced steel pylons driven deep into what they believed was stable ground. The cables stretched, screamed, snapped. The sound echoed through the forest like gunfire. Still, the excavator did not move. By the third day, the cost of delay had surpassed $500,000. By the fourth, Eduardo stopped sleeping. And by the fifth, the engineers stopped making suggestions. There is a peculiar moment in every failure, a moment when intelligence runs out, when expertise becomes repetition, when solutions begin to sound like echoes of things already tried. And in that moment, something else enters the story. Not innovation, not invention, but memory. His name was John Armstrong, 79 years old, a cattle farmer, owner of a narrow strip of land bordering the project. For days he had said nothing, watched everything. He watched the machines arrive, watched the men measure, argue, calculate, watched them trust the ground without ever understanding it. And then he watched the machine sink, and he waited. 5 days, 5 silent days, until finally he drove his rusted pickup truck onto the site. Eduardo barely looked at him. Another interruption, another distraction. But John Armstrong did not introduce himself with apology. "I can pull it out," he said. No hesitation, no performance, just a statement. The engineers laughed, not cruelly, but mockingly, because what he proposed was impossible according to them. And yet, impossibility had already happened. John Armstrong did not point to a modern solution. He pointed backward. "To my machine," he said, "a steam tractor built in 1924, shortly after World War I. It took nearly 3 hours to prepare, not because it was broken, but because it demanded mechanical respect. Water had to be heated, pressure had to build, fire had to be fed, slowly, deliberately. Because this machine did not operate on urgency, it operated on patience. And when it finally emerged from the old wooden shed behind John Armstrong's house, it did not look obsolete. It looked inevitable. 30 tons of iron, massive steel wheels lined with jagged cleats, a boiler that hummed like something alive. It moved at 6 kilometers per hour. And yet, Every movement felt absolute. The workers fell silent, not out of respect, but confusion, because what they were seeing did not belong in their world. And yet, it was here. The chain was attached, not steel cable, chain, heavy, strong, ready to work. John Armstrong climbed onto the platform, placed one hand on the throttle, and listened to the machine, to the ground, to something no sensor could measure. Then he opened the valve. The engine responded with a deep, rhythmic pulse, not fast, not aggressive, but relentless. The wheels turned, slowly, deliberately, and then the chain tightened. For a moment, nothing happened. And then the earth released its grip, not suddenly, but unwillingly, like something being asked to give up what it had claimed. The excavator moved, an inch, then another, and then it rose. Mud broke, suction failed, weight shifted, and within minutes, 75 tons of modern engineering was free. No one cheered at first, because they didn't understand what they had just witnessed. Not a victory of strength, but a victory of understanding. Eduardo approached John Armstrong slowly, like a man approaching something sacred, without knowing why. "How did you know?" he asked. John Armstrong didn't smile. "Because this land doesn't care about speed," he said. "It cares about weight and patience. Modern machines are designed to protect themselves. They calculate limits, avoid damage, preserve efficiency. But this machine, this relic of another century, had no such instincts. It did not know when to stop, only how to pull." The story spread. Across the county, across industries. Engineers debated it. Executives dismissed it. Farmers understood it immediately. And John Armstrong? He returned to his land, to his cattle, to his machine, waiting. In 2001, another machine sank. Different company, different engineers, same ground. And once again, a call was made. But this time, they did not laugh. There is a tendency in the modern world to believe that progress replaces everything, that newer means better, that faster means stronger. But sometimes, progress forgets, and when it does, the past does not disappear. It waits, patiently, quietly, like a machine in a shed, ready for the moment we need it again, because in the end, it is not the newest idea that saves us. It is the one that never stopped working. And now I want to ask you something. What are you overlooking? What ideas, what skills, what old ways have you dismissed, simply because they didn't look modern enough? Because the next time you find yourself stuck, not in mud, but in life, in business, in decisions that refuse to move, remember this story. Sometimes the answer isn't ahead of you. Sometimes it's behind you, waiting. If this story made you think differently, even for a moment, then this channel is for you. We tell stories that challenge what you think you know. Stories where the obvious fails and the unexpected wins. So, go ahead, subscribe. Not just for more videos, but for a different way of seeing the world. And if you've ever experienced a moment where the old way beat the new way, drop it in the comments, because the next story might be yours.